Good evening, everybody. Sorry for the slight delay to your programming this evening. Welcome to the AFLW show for another week. Kira, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I would be a lot better if this team stopped killing us every week. But no, it's very good to be back and I'm excited to get into it and talk all things AFLW.
That's exactly right. So, without further ado, let us get this show on the road because we have a little bit to unpack this evening. I really love that intro. I just wish we could watch it on better terms.
I just wish we could watch it after a win.
I don't see that happening, unfortunately.
Me neither.
No. Good evening, Rob. Good to see you again. Huge fan of the show, I know. But what a week. What a week it's been.
Take a deep breath in
and exhale. But no, in all honesty, I forgot that we were playing on Saturday. 12 o'clock came and I'm like, we're playing. Oh crap, maybe I should watch it.
I'm dead at Paul's comment. I've got a spew bucket out. That's how we all feel.
Hello, Paul. Yeah, look, I don't even know where to begin because we said last week that this would make or break our season because
it broke our season.
Correct. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that now season's pretty much done and dusted in my book. Considering who we play in the weeks to come. And we needed this win for a little bit of confidence. And I just, from start to finish, we were never really in it.
We needed this for everything. And no, we actually got excited. They kicked it long and we got a goal early. We were messaging each other like, wow, they might actually play some decent footy here. And then 5 minutes later, we both said, what were we thinking? Why did we even send that message? But yeah, it was a bit of a train wreck.
Little bit is putting it very fine, very lightly, because listening to the commentary, they said that GWS had come out with, a bit of oomph. And they fought back from the week before. They were out there to prove a point. And they bounced back superbly. Like, I couldn't fault their game at all. I loved watching them play. The way they were able to link the ball, the way they were able to break open through the middle, the way they were able to intercept anything we were trying. Good for them. Like, this is fantastic for them, for their confidence.
I wish. So that's what I wish for our program.
I wish. And, like, for those that missed the game, Carlton 1-6-12 were defeated by GWS 4-5-29. And we've lost Lily Goss for the season. She went off early with a shoulder injury, and it appears it's severe enough for her to not play for the remainder of this year, which is only 4 games. So
dislocated.
Huge loss for her because it's obviously her first season of AFLW. Wouldn't do any good for her confidence, but unfortunately, I'm actually sick of talking about losing or talking about our forward pressure, our forward 50 entries, our ability to hit a target, our ability to handball, our ability to kick. It's getting to the point now where I can't find positives anymore. The only thing that was in the positive for us was free kicks, and that was 23-7, which seems to be proof that we are first to the ball, but we're not doing anything with it. And it actually annoys me.
Absolutely. There's only so much we can say. It's like it's the same thing every week. And
It actually is.
we've tried so hard to stay positive and try and find reasons why it will be okay. But I think it was the final straw on the weekend where I was like, I just don't see where this program is going. I don't see what they're aiming to do. I just don't see it.
No,
at all.
and we won the contested possessions, which is interesting. Marks inside 50 once again. We were absolutely spanked. Giants were able to manage 9. We managed 3. So I just don't know what's correlating and what's resonating with these girls when they're getting told the game plan. Like, what's clicking? Like, what?
Nothing's clicking.
This is the problem, and we've said this before.
I actually went back today at uni. Clearly, I was very concentrated at uni, but I actually went back because I know, the competition's changed a lot. So I didn't just want to look at where we've been since the start of the competition to where we are now, but I compared it to the same as Adelaide. So I've got the ladder positions of each season for us and Adelaide, and it is just everyone prepare yourself. So in 2018, Carlton was last on the ladder, which was 8th at the time. 2019, we were first. 2020, we were second. 2021, we were 7th. 2022, part 1, we were 8th. And 2022, part 2, currently we're sitting 14th. Adelaide, in 2018, they were 5th. In 2019, they were 1st. In 2020, they were 6th. 2021, they were 1st. 2022, part 1, they were 1st. And they're currently sitting 2nd on the ladder in 2022, part 2.
Yep.
We're going backwards, and it's got nothing to do with the expansions and everything like that, like Paul said, because Adelaide has been in it since the start too, and they just keep getting better, and we're going backwards.
Melbourne
too. All of them.
3 teams that we've spoken about all year that have actually, one, maintained a really good culture, maintained players. They've had very little turnover, if any. And the fact that they've been able to gel together and just, I don't know, have a game plan that actually works. And it's unfortunately, from other Carlton supporters that I've spoken to, it's turning them off AFLW.
100%.
This program is turning them off AFLW. We were getting thousands of people coming to watch AFLW in the first couple of seasons. Hell, we had a banner that went across to Adelaide when we played in the final. You know what I mean? Like, but now it's pretty much just turned to shit. And it's sad because we care so much. We care so much about this group. And I just don't know where we can go from here. And I love that, like, they score 1 point and lose by 90 points, and they're able to hit the scoreboard. I don't know what is going on behind closed doors, because we've lost so many players. We only have 6 players left from the grand final we made, and half of them aren't even playing.
And that's the thing, like, people fall in love with the players and the athletes, and Carlton are lucky that the Carlton monogram is so special to so many people that we're not just going to walk away because players leave, but you get attached to the players. And when they walk out every single year and our retention is so poor, then you turn to winning and being successful on the field, because if your favorite players aren't there, at least maybe we might be able to get a win. And Carlton aren't getting that either. So
because of that, we don't have one. And the cop-out that I keep hearing, that we didn't want to change 2 coaches in 1 year, is absolute bull dust. Who cares? I mean, Essendon had a CEO walk out after 1 day. I mean, come on. If you believe he's the right man for the job, fine. But he needs to be showing it to everybody else. He needs to be putting players on the park and having a game plan that actually shows what we've got. Because we keep hearing that we've got the talent. I'm yet to see it. And I'm trying to stay positive every week for the girls and for everybody watching, but it's getting really, really hard to sit there and watch. I feel like I need to turn off half the time. And I never do that. I love football.
We were talking about this last week. We are not the kind of people to turn off a game of football or leave at halftime, but this team is making it impossible. It hurts to watch. It hurts.
Exactly.
Spot
on.
And there is a lot of people involved in this program. A lot of people. There is a football department. This is the Carlton Football Club. It is a professional football league run by professionals. So why are we having this conversation?
Yeah. We shouldn't be having this conversation. Like, as Paul said earlier, 7 seasons. And I say this to Natalie and Michelle on a daily basis when we talk about AFLW is we've been in there for 7 seasons. We should be having a little bit more success than we are, turnover or not. It comes down to what is behind closed doors, what's happening, why. It comes back to what Michelle said, the why and the who as to why we've had this mass exodus.
Spot on. And, you know, AFLW and AFL are different competitions, so we shouldn't be comparing them. But you even have to look at our men's side, how we were really poor for a really long time and we never had mass exoduses. And you hear the players talk about it now because the culture and how tight they were as a group, and like something must have been working off field for us to be able to retain those players. So what is going on behind the doors of the AFLW program? Because it is actually getting beyond the point of ridiculous.
No, and it's the small minority within that group that seem to have sway over the majority, which is concerning. Because I love women's football. I am the biggest advocate for women's football. And my response to your tweet last night, I thought was probably one of the best responses I've ever made in my life.
That was great.
We do not need to sit down, and I really hated this, what's his name? Price or whatever, Steve Price or whatever it is.
Doesn't even deserve name airtime.
I hate the fact that we have people that don't even watch AFLW sitting there and comparing the men's to the women's. Stop. Just stop comparing the two competitions because they are completely different.
On that,
game is completely different. It's 7 years in its infancy. Do you honestly think in the men's game, when it was 7 years in, that they were any better? I don't think so. And they're two completely, like, females and males are completely different. Our body compositions are different. Our ability is different. So people just need to stop comparing them. Let them run alongside each other and let them be their own entities. Otherwise, I'm going to keep ranting.
And on that, I'm tipping everyone watching the show tonight is an AFLW fan, because otherwise I don't think you'd be watching. But if you do get a chance, I do suggest going to the Port Adelaide AFLW website and having a read of that article that they put out on the AFLW competition, because it was unreal. That brought a little bit of love to my heart after the weekend of watching whatever our club put out. But I do really recommend everyone going to going to read it, because it was a fantastic article.
Yeah. And Beachy brought up something that I really wanted to address. And I actually went through all of our results from the start of the year. And there are a couple of games there where we kicked 4 or 5 goals. Fantastic for us, right? Cool. The last 2 games, we've kicked 1 goal each game. If that doesn't scream poor functioning forward line, I don't know what is.
Poor functioning game plan that's non-existent. That's, yeah.
Our forward entries, we get the ball past halfway and it's like we turn to water. Poor Mua, if we didn't have her, we'd be belted every week. She's made team of the week again. And Mua Lalawifi is a shoo-in for our best and fairest, because she is an absolute superstar. And I'm at a loss as to why it's always seemingly her who's taking all these marks, doing all the right things, but it's only a handful of players that are getting their hands on the footy and not doing much with it. And like, you get the ball past halfway, where does it go? The shallow entries again, 3 marks in our forward 50. What are we doing with the football? And I'm actually starting to really, really get tired of talking about how bad our forward line is because it's really, really driving me nuts.
We could make a montage of all the times we've spoken about it this season, and I swear it would just be us saying the same thing and just scratching our head and screaming internally at what is going on. Like, we can see it, so I'm assuming the coaches can see it, so why aren't we doing anything to fix it? Like,
No,
why?
and that's the thing. Like, you say you're fixing it, but every week it's seemingly going in the other direction. It's not getting any better. It's getting
No,
worse.
it's getting worse.
And like, you look at who we're playing this week, which we'll touch on in a moment, but I'm just like, I'm going back to round 1. We kicked 3 goals to 5. We thought after round 1, okay, it's probably not going to be so bad. Collingwood are a contender. We only lost by 2 goals or 3 goals. Cool. Round 2 rolls around, and I think we won that one. We beat Essendon by a point, didn't we, in round 2? No. Yes. Yeah. We kicked 5 goals. They kicked 4-7. Probably should have beaten us. Forward line kicking goals in the first half. I thought, this is the kind of football I want to see from this group.
And the kind of
Fantastic
football we
first.
expected. We
That's-
weren't
yeah.
expecting them to set the house on fire. Just
No.
be all right.
Port Adelaide game, 4 goals apiece, draw. Really should have lost that game. Port Adelaide shouldn't have let us back in. Week after, we play Freo. We had no business being in that game either. That draw shouldn't have occurred either. We kicked 5 goals, but we're hitting the scoreboard. And the Melbourne game, we did all of the pressure. We put all the pressure on Melbourne in the second half, but they still were able to get the ball forward. And I watched a couple of games over the weekend, and just the ability for teams to actually score was awesome. Like, GWS the week before couldn't hit a target to save themselves. They were linking up. They were supporting their teammates. They were getting around each other. The
Adelaide were hitting the scoreboard.
8-15 is pretty bad, but still. Like, we're seeing really, really close games. 1 point, Bulldogs versus Cats. Phenomenal finish. Richmond Gold Coast Suns, another ripping finish. St Kilda really should have beaten Collingwood. So
Yeah, they should have.
It's like, yes, there's smallish margins that we're losing by, but we shouldn't be losing to teams that got thumped the week before by like 90 points. We put this down to, we were going to win this game. Everyone had us all winning this game, including
I don't think
us.
there was a tip. I don't think there was a tip saying that we were going to lose.
I jumped on the winning bandwagon because I thought we were going to win, and then we dished that up. And I'm just like, I don't know anymore, because if you, I understand they're trying to attack the corridor and trying something different. But if the person kicking it isn't the best kick in your side, don't be trying to pull it off. Because it was an instance they were kicking it in and someone took a mark from the other team.
Exactly. And I'm not opposed to trying something different. Like, you've got to experiment. But if different doesn't work and you've tried it week in and week out for a while and it's still not working and it's not getting better, you've got to throw the towel in at some point, and you've just got to swallow your pride and say, you know what, it's not working. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's change it up. So maybe we give ourselves another opportunity, a different avenue to be able to win. It's not working. So stop trying to do the same thing week in and week out, because the results are going to keep being the same.
Sums it up. Even worse stat, only ahead of Sydney.
Yeah, well, we're sitting 4th last on the ladder, and there's 3 expansion clubs below us.
So in reality,
there's 4 teams below us. 3 of them are expansion teams.
Wow.
Wow.
So if you take the expansion clubs out, we're sitting rock bottom.
2nd last. There's one other. I can't remember who, but there is one other.
Yeah, let me have a look. I'll have a look at the ladder while I'm here. So you look at even North Melbourne, a team that has been up and down for the seasons that they've been in there are actually starting to really, really hit their straps. Geelong are starting to hit their straps. Richmond are starting to hit their straps. They've all been in the competition a lot less than us.
They're looking really strong.
Fremantle are the only other side below us that have been around for as long as we have. But and they can probably argue the same. They lost probably arguably the best forward. And they've had so many injuries, Fremantle, so many injuries over the course of this season. But yeah, even Essendon have won more games than us.
Yeah. Like, I know we talk about losing people and, you know, that is a big part of it. But at the end of the day, like, we finished 7th in 2021. So we finished 8th in part 1 of 2022. So we've gone backwards, but we were never up there with those players. So
no, but I just think we need a fresh start. Harford's been there for 5 seasons now, I think, because we had Damien Keeping for the first 2 seasons, and then Harford's been in there since 2019, I'm pretty sure. He took over. So he's been there for 19, 20, 21, and 2 parts of 22. So 5 seasons with another one to come on his contract. So he was contracted for this season and then next year's season.
And we started being 2nd on the ladder, and we're currently 14th on the ladder.
I wanted to show this one because, yeah, pretty much sums it up. Like, our forward pressure was getting there. Like, we were able to lock the ball in a couple of occasions, which was good, but we weren't able to penetrate the scoreboard. And our only goal, which came to Gabby Pound, who's now joined the 50-game kick a goal in your 50th game club, but it came from a free kick. And that was our only goal for the entire game.
That is so bad.
And she's a defender that shouldn't have been playing in the defense.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry. So if anyone feels like crying right now, just have a laugh. Like, it'll make you feel better.
I don't even know if I can laugh at this point. Like, it's just, we were told that we're a little bit too easy on them. I hope tonight we're not too easy on them, because I can't find a positive. Like, yeah, our players are getting possession, and like on the commentary, they were saying, oh yeah, Mimi Hill wins the football. Good. I'm glad she wins the football. That's what she's there to do. But if she can't deliver the football, or her teammates don't run for her to be able to deliver the football, then how could she possibly hit a target if no one's actually prepared to move for her to hit that target?
One player can't save the entire team. So
1 or 2 players can't. No.
Mimi's awesome, Mua awesome, but you know, it's a team sport for a reason. We're not playing tennis. No. We're playing football, and we need all of them.
That's right. And it was good to see Serena Gibbs back up in the forward line.
Yes,
she was just starved of opportunity.
Positive. We found a positive.
She laid 4 tackles. So, like, she's obviously putting pressure on in the forward half. It's just that she's meant to be the marking forward. Yeah. Where are our crummers? So I barely saw Keely Skepper, which is a bit of a shame, because she's been really, really good, and she only had the 8 disposals. So, like, I'm actually sitting here and I'm just like, Serena Gibbs, 3 disposals. Jess Good, 7 disposals. Annie Lee, 6. Lucy McAvoy, 6. Elise O'Day, 7. Taylor Ortlip in her first game tried, had 6. Plain, 7. Pound, 9. Shirar, 9. Trudgeon, 8. Vesio, 4. Vickers, 9. Walker, 5.
And like, we love all of them. That's why are it's so painful to see what they're putting out, because we are so much better than the results we're getting, the scores we're putting on the scoreboard. We are so much better and we have so much more talent. So why isn't it working?
Yeah. But this is probably why. This would probably be the reason why. People will rock up against Carlton and go, we're on here today, ladies.
Field day. I wish I could have like breakfast with the team and be like, what is going on? Like, what is happening inside those four walls?
No, but like I said, it's a small minority within those four walls that are speaking to the majority and obviously swaying them in some way, shape, or form. But there has to be a reason why all these big players just up and left. Because you don't see Daisy Pearce walking out of Melbourne. You don't see who else have they got? You don't see a Karen Paxman walking out of Melbourne. You don't see a Libby Birch walking out of Melbourne. You don't see a Lily Mithen walking out of Melbourne. Big names. You don't see what's her name? The captain of North Melbourne. She left the Bulldogs, but she has stayed at North Melbourne, has been absolute fantastic for them. Like, you don't see all these big name players walk out. So there has to be an underlying reason why all of them walked out across the space of a short, like 7 in the off season, just gone. Like, if that's not alarm bells ringing in some ears at the football club, then I don't know what is.
And like on top of the AFLW department, what is Luke Sayers and Brian Cook doing? Because this is a united football club and they're the top dogs. So, like, is there conversations happening? Do they have a plan for the off season? Because they're very smart men. So how they could be allowing this to happen confuses me a little bit. What?
Yep.
Sorry, huh?
So that's what I'm talking about.
What?
If you get excited about a coach being re-signed, like, she's happy where she is. So there's obviously a reason why she was unhappy at Carlton. So, like, I'm sad because a lot of the girls that did leave were very close to us in the cheer squad, and it pains me to see them walk out the door. But I know it's for their own reasons. And it keeps coming back to something that's happening in that football department that they're just not saying.
And then there's the athletes that stay at the football club, but they're not able to thrive and they're not able to have that success because, like we've said about 5,000 million times this show, there is clearly something wrong.
And everybody from the outside, not just you and I, everybody can see that there's something wrong. But the club are all putting up a front going, no, we're all good. We're all good. Oh, we're in the stages of learning. We're going to be okay. We'll be fine. No. I'm not buying it. I'm not picking up what you're putting down, Carlton. Sorry. I am not picking up what you're putting down. Not today. Unless we see big change post-season from an administration point of view, you're not going to get very many at AFLW games for Carlton moving forward. Everyone will go to all the other AFLW games, but you won't see Carlton supporters. And if people ask the question why, it's not hard to work out.
Literally. I thoroughly enjoy turning on the TV of a weekend and putting on an AFLW show. That it's just entertaining, great to watch. Carlton, I put Carlton on, it pains me.
I'm scared to turn Carlton on.
Me too.
But this, I just really want to laugh out loud. I don't know where this space cadet thinks he is, saying that we're going to play finals. Munro's a space cadet then. I'm sorry. I know we really shouldn't like rubbish these people, but they're not doing their job. And
the thing is,
it's hard to watch.
if you're in any other industry, it doesn't just happen in sport. If you are not executing your role and you're not hitting your KPIs, there's going to be ramifications. So it's the same as sport. These people are not getting the best out of the people around them. There's clearly something going wrong, and I'm hoping they're not hitting their KPIs. So
just quietly hoping that they're not.
If they are, that is extremely concerning. So there's going to be ramifications.
How low is the bar of their KPIs? If that's the case, how low is the bar? And like, I hate talking negative about them because we've seen the highs. Like, we were all there the very first time the AFLW Carlton girls pulled on that jumper. And I can guarantee you, Natalie and I were crying.
I was just about to say that still makes me emotional.
It does.
I look it up on YouTube on a regular basis, looking up round 1, Icon Park, first ever game. It was unreal.
The noise.
And the future was so bright.
And it's just, it pains me because we want them to do well. We want them to be successful. We want them to be the best that they can be. We want to be up there playing finals. We want to be showing the world that Carlton are powerhouse, men's and women's.
And that's the only reason we've spent 31 minutes pulling our hair out, being like, what are they doing? Because we want them to succeed so badly. That's all we want for them.
And we set the expectations pretty low at the start of the year. I didn't expect them to be this low.
This low. That I think that's the thing that's hurting me so much is I'm a little bit, set my standards low so that I don't get my heart broken kind of supporter. And my standards were low. And the fact that I'm still hurt, that's what is paining me because my expectations were low. And this is worse than I could have ever imagined.
No. And like at the start of the year, I would have penciled in the win against Essendon, which we got. I would have penciled in the win against Port Adelaide, which we didn't get. I would have penciled in the win against GWS. I would have been 50-50 with this weekend's game, which we'll get into in a minute. The Richmond game, I would have had us 50-50. I didn't have us beating – I had us 50-50 against the Suns, and I don't have us beating the Bulldogs. So I thought we would be pretty even on the wins and losses this year, but I don't see us winning another game.
Well, I can very, very clearly remember us saying at the start of the year, we feel like the ladder will look like the most of the expansion clubs down the bottom, and then a few expansion clubs that are like a little bit more successful than we could have imagined in the middle half of the ladder with us, and a few other clubs, and then your Adelaides and your Melbournes and Brisbane, etc., up the very top. We're down. Prices are down.
If I'm honest, I had us about 9th or 10th.
Yeah, well, I can remember us having
9th and 11th. I had us.
I can remember us having this conversation in the first
4 or 5
show.
wins. I would have had us with 4 or 5 wins. I mean, the only reason we're above Hawthorn is because we've had 2 draws.
Yeah.
That's the only reason we're ahead of Hawthorn. But like I said, it only takes 1 or 2 goals either way or 1 or 2 points either way, and we'd be sitting rock bottom with Sydney. So it's
is a great way to explain it.
So let's move on because I feel like I'm going to cry if I keep talking about how bad we are.
Yeah, we'll reset. Deep breath in and out.
Deep breath in, exhale, and go. So this week we play St Kilda 6:10 at RC Park. For those that don't know where that is, it is Moorabbin. St Kilda's home game. Friday night, 6:10. Traffic is going to be absolutely shite. So I'll be watching from my best and fairest, which I have on Friday night.
Fun. Good luck.
Look, I'm winning at the halfway mark. Saw my coach yesterday and he's like, it's going to be close. And I said, well, I've won. I've come second 4 times. He goes, a 5th one wouldn't be so bad, would it? Because he knows who wins. So he's just trying to stir me. But anyway.
Well, fingers crossed that Coach Shan, you're
That
now
Coach
our coach,
Shan
wins.
Well, but anyway, so there's no previews yet because obviously it's Wednesday. Teams will be released tomorrow. We know of one change, at least one change for our game this week will be Lily Goss. Probably we'll see Bernardi come back in, forward for forward. Let me have a quick look at
Villado is available.
Pardon?
I think Villado is available after concussion.
Good. Yep. Bring her back in. I'm just having a quick look at last week. I hope they keep Ortlip in because I thought she did all right. She wasn't too bad in the grand scheme of things. But I had a look at a couple of the comments earlier, and Amanda said she hasn't been able to bring herself to watch the press conference from Harvard. I don't think I want to because I feel I'm getting really, really bad David Teague PTSD when it comes to his press conferences. So
or Bolton. There's green shoots.
But we're competing. If I hear we're competing,
trying.
But
and it's okay, Robert. Shan and I did enjoy ourselves at the best and fairest, so we are okay. We're not actually very sad. We are sad.
That was actually the greatest night. I had the best fun.
That was a lot of fun until the AFLW crushed it on Saturday.
Like I said, we got to ride the highs when we can. So looking at where we're heading, it's going to be an interesting setup because I watched a bit of the last quarter of the Collingwood St Kilda game, and one little slip up by an ex-Blue cost St Kilda. I'm not sure if anyone saw it, but Nicola Stevens was running into an open goal and unfortunately missed. But they would have knocked off Collingwood, and that would have been a huge confidence booster for them. So my fingers and toes are crossed that they're not in a good headspace, so we could actually come out and give it a crack. But I feel like if we try and do something a little bit different, like I know we're trying different positions at this point in time, and I'm not sure if that's working anymore. So I kind of want to see them throw caution to the wind, leave Serena Gibbs one out with Vesio up there, have some leading targets, and I want to see them actually hit half forward and then go deep, not just try and go deep straight away and try and hit a target. Try and hit a target. Do me a favor, win it out of the middle and try and hit a target.
They just need to change it up. Like, honestly, I trust you, Coach Shan, so please do that, Carlton. But I do not care what they do as long as they try something different, because what we're currently trying is not working, and I think it's time to throw the towel in and move forward with something new because, you know, I know there's no saving the season now. It's simply too late. But normally how you finish a game is how you start the next game. And if we finish the season somewhat positively, hopefully we can take that into the off season and build on it. So we can't save the season, but they need to try and do something with it.
No, and it was about round 7 last year where we actually started playing a bit better football. So we're in round 7 now, so let's give it a crack, shall we?
Woo!
I can't deal with the fact that they think that they're trying.
They're trying.
So I just want them to give it a crack, win the ball out of the middle, and it's going to be a tough ask because St Kilda have got a lot of decent players in their team, and the injection of Georgia Patrikios back into that midfield has been huge for them. She is an elite runner who just manages to find the ball and do something with it. I mean, where is she?
I can't see us winning. I really can't. I've
No, I
lost
can't see us
all
winning
ability.
either. She had 18 disposals. Hannah Stewart had 25.
Gun.
Literally. And Guttridge, Caitlin Greiser, the list goes on. Lucy Burke, Hannah Priest, Kate Shearlaw. How are we going to stop her? Nicola Zenos, Tani White, Nicola Stevens. The list goes on. Bianca Jacobson. We're not winning this game. We are not winning this game. I can categorically sit here now and say to you all, live on camera, that we will lose by more than 15 points.
This episode just makes me laugh because we've tried so hard to be so positive all year, and I feel like our positivity tonight has just gone.
Yeah. Well, do you blame the way?
No.
Can anyone blame us?
Absolutely not.
Like I know we keep saying at the start of the year that our expectations weren't high, but I wanted them to prove us wrong.
Oh, 100%. That's you want nothing more.
I'm still waiting for that to happen.
We've been proved beyond right.
No. And unfortunately, we've been proven right, and it's not what we wanted to hear, not what we wanted to see. So, but the inability to win our own footy and hit a target either by hand or by foot screams, help me. It really 100%. Does. So I just want them to go out there this week with a little bit of anything.
Energy would be good, a good start. Some energy, a different attack on the football, something different. Coaches, we're begging you, do something different. And what Coach Chan said, half forward, then deep.
Yeah. What else can we say? Look, it's a lot of comments here that I want to put up that I don't think I can put up. But I'll give everyone a little bit of a summary. And I think that everyone's kind of wanting a review to happen. And everyone's wanting us to see Harford have the spotlight put on him a little bit. So I want them to do well this week, but I want the club to really take a good hard look at what program they're putting out. And that's all I'll say.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And I love this. I love that comment because that's normally me. But
I don't see it happening. Sorry.
Me. I so badly want to come back next week and us be so wrong.
Oh, please prove me wrong. Win. Prove me wrong. Win. Do something different. Throw caution to the wind. Someone before said they'd like to see more of Lucy McAvoy up forward. Try it. Try anything. Hit the scoreboard is all I want. We can win the football anywhere around the ground. We've proven that. But we seem to fall down kicking a freaking goal. The big sticks, yeah, girls? The big white ones? The ones they took out of the MCG today to make way for the cricket pitch? Those ones? The big ones? Kick there.
Please.
It's like we're not asking for much, are we?
We're asking for a few goals. A little bit of energy.
A little bit of energy. If they kick a goal, get around them. If you happen to be at RC Park, cheer loud. Let them know that there's still some support out there for them, because I know they keep saying to us, stick with us, and they're making it very, very hard to do. But let's give it a crack, yeah? We're going to be the underdogs going into this game. Perfectly fine, right? Hit the scoreboard early, put the pressure back on St Kilda, because we've beaten them before. Similar body types, right? It's just the difference is they've got tall forwards that can take marks and kick goals. We have capable forwards. It's just we can't seem to get the ball to those capable forwards. So let's just give it a crack. I'm sick of hearing myself yell and scream internally right now. So I don't know, Kira.
I don't know either. Honestly, this was actually a great 45 minutes. I feel like I've let all my built up tension from the weekend's game just like word vomit explode onto YouTube and Facebook and wherever else we are. But it was good. It was much needed. Therapy tick.
This is like live fan cams with just us.
And on delay, like we're still feeling the pain.
Yeah. And like, oh, hi Vince, nice of you to join us on our channel. And I agree, like, yeah, like Darcy Vessio's I don't think we should drop Vessio. They haven't had their opportunity to get their hands on the footy because the ball hasn't actually gone down there. So I'd give them one more go, one more crack at it this week. I just want to make sure that we're not alienating players that we want to keep. So I just want them to go away, and even if they just try something where the leadership group stands up and says, this isn't working, let's try something else. Don't leave it to the coaches. If you are a leader at that football club on field, pull them together, say, we've got nothing to lose, girls. Let's go out there. Let's kick goals. Let's put the pressure on and let's come home with a win. They're usually the words of wisdom I instill on my team. When we're playing, I pull them in. We're playing the top team. I said, look, girls, no one's expecting us to win today. But if we go in there and put 110%, we back each other, we support each other, we lay our tackles, we put our shepherds on, we do everything that we know we can do well, I can't see why we can't push this team. And guess what? We only lost by 6 goals to the top team who beat us by nearly 90 points the last time we played them.
Spot on. Absolutely spot on. I think, we talk a lot about individuals and we've spoken a lot about individuals today, but, Half, Munro, all of them. But at the end of the day, it's a united front and everyone has to take responsibility. And I think, something has to give. I don't know what that is, giving, but something has to give. So hopefully internally they can sort something out in the next few days so that we can bring out something different on the weekend so that we can provide a different show next week.
Look, I'm going to be watching at my best and fairest, and doesn't actually kick off until 7 o'clock. So I've got a whole hour to watch the game. And I know they said 8:30 is when they're doing the awards for the senior women. So I've got a bit of time to watch the game. So I'm guaranteed I'll be messaging you throughout. And I just hope that they go out there, heads held high, do everything that they know how to do well, and strip it back to the basics. Just make sure you do your one job and the rest will follow.
100%.
Anyway, Kira, I think it's a good opportunity now to put it all to bed, move on, and end the show on a happy note. And I hope everyone enjoyed our rant this evening. I do apologize for my rant earlier. It was just something that I feel like we just needed to have, like you said, therapy.
It just needed to happen.
It did. And maybe this is the show that will be the turning point of our football AFLW experience with these girls. So I want to thank you again, Kira, for joining me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, as always. Hopefully next week we're smiling. I'm going to chuck in my prediction and say St Kilda by 18 or more. That's just me.
Thanks, Coach Shan. Thanks always for a great episode or therapy. And thank you to everyone in the comments. Everyone talking back and forth makes this group therapy session and we can all get our feels out and how much this team is frustrating us. But hopefully we do look back in it in years to come and it all makes sense. At the moment, it doesn't make sense, but hopefully it does. I'm saying St Kilda by 12.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. Stay dry. It is raining in Melbourne. For those that are watching interstate, I hope you're enjoying some sunshine if you are out and about. But we will be back same time next week. Fingers crossed we get the W. Up the Baggers.